The Bible in a year, day 58, Numbers 29 through 31. In the seventh month, on the first day, you will declare a holy day and do no heavy work. It shall be a day on which you sound the trumpet. You will offer a burnt offering for a pleasing aroma to the Lord, 1 bull of the herd, 1 ram, and 7 unblemished yearling lambs. Their grain offerings will be of bran flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs. 1 goat will be a purification offering to make atonement for yourselves. These are in addition to the burnt offering for the new moon with its grain offering, and in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering, together with the libations prescribed for them for a pleasing aroma, an oblation to the Lord. On the 10th day of the 7th month, you will declare a holy day. Humble yourselves and do no sort of work. You will offer a burnt offering to the Lord, a pleasing aroma, 1 bull of the herd, 1 ram, and 7 yearling lambs that you are sure are unblemished. The grain offering of bran flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the 1 ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs. 1 goat will be a purification offering. These are in addition to the purification offering for purging, the regular burnt offering with its grain offering, and their libations. On the 15th day of the 7th month, you will declare a holy day. You shall do no heavy work. For the following 7 days, you will celebrate a pilgrimage feast to the Lord. You will offer a burnt offering, an oblation of pleasing aroma to the Lord, 13 bulls of the herd, 2 rams, and 14 yearling lambs that are unblemished. Their grain offerings will be of bran flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each of the 13 bulls, 2/10 for each of the 2 rams, and 1/10 for each of the 14 lambs. 1 goat will be a purification offering. These are in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and libation. On the 2nd day, 12 bulls of the herd, 2 rams, and 14 unblemished yearling lambs with the grain offerings and libations for the bulls, rams, and lambs in their prescribed number, as well as 1 goat as a purification offering, besides the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and libations. On the 3rd day, 11 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 unblemished yearling lambs with the grain offerings and libations for the bulls, rams, and lambs in the prescribed number, as well as 1 goat for a purification offering, besides the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and libation. On the 4th day, 10 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 unblemished yearling lambs, the grain offerings and the libations for the bulls, rams, and lambs in their prescribed number, as well as 1 goat for a purification offering, besides the regular burnt offerings, its grain and libation. On the 5th day, 9 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 unblemished yearling lambs, with the grain offerings and libations for the bulls, rams, and lambs in their prescribed number, as well as 1 goat for a purification offering, besides the regular burnt offering, with its grain offering and libation. On the 6th day, 8 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 unblemished yearling lambs, with the grain offerings and libation for the bulls, rams, and lambs in the prescribed number, as well as 1 goat as a purification offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and libation. On the 7th day, 7 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 unblemished yearling lambs, with the grain offerings and libations for the bulls, rams, and lambs in their prescribed number, as well as 1 goat as a purification offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and libation. On the 8th day you will hold a public assembly. You shall do no heavy work. You will offer a burnt offering, an oblation of pleasing aroma to the Lord, 1 bull, 1 ram, and 7 unblemished yearling lambs, with the grain offerings and libations for the bulls, rams, and lambs in their prescribed number, as well as 1 goat as a purification offering, besides the regular burnt offering, with its grain offering and libation. These are the offerings you will make to the Lord on your festivals, besides your votive or voluntary offerings of burnt offerings, grain offerings, libations, and communion offerings. So Moses instructed the Israelites exactly as the Lord had commanded. Moses said to the heads of the Israelite tribes, "This is what the Lord has commanded. When a man makes a vow to the Lord or binds himself under oath to a pledge, he shall not violate his word, but must fulfill exactly the promise he has uttered. When a woman makes a vow to the Lord or binds herself to a pledge while still in her father's house in her youth, and her father learns of her vow or the pledge to which she bound herself and says nothing to hear about it, then any vow or pledge to which she bound herself remains valid. But if on that day he learns of it, her father opposes her, then any vow or pledge to which she bounds herself becomes invalid, and the Lord will release her from it, since her father opposed her. If she marries while under a vow or under a rash pledge to which she bound herself, and her husband learns of it, yet says nothing to her on the day he learns it, then the vow or pledges to which she bound herself remain valid. But if on that day her husband learns of it, he opposes her, he thereby annuls the vow she made for or the rash pledge to which she bound herself, and the Lord will release her from it. The vow of a widow or divorced woman, however, any pledge to which such a woman binds herself is valid. If it is in her husband's house that she makes a vow or binds herself under oath to a pledge, and her husband learns of it, yet says nothing to her to oppose her, then all her vows remain valid, or any pledge to which she bounds herself. But if on that day he learns of them, her husband annuls them, then whatever she has expressly promised in her vows or in her pledge becomes invalid. Since her husband has annulled them, the Lord will release her from them. Any vow or pledge that she makes under oath to humble herself, her husband may either confirm or annul. But if her husband day after day says nothing at all to her, he thereby confirms all her vows or all the pledges incumbent upon her. He has confirmed them because on the day he learns of them, he said nothing to her. If, however, he annuls them some time after he first learned of them, he will be responsible for her guilt. These are the statutes which the Lord commanded Moses concerning a husband and his wife, as well as a father and his daughter while she is still in her youth, in her father's house.